What is up, everybody?
What up, fam?
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Man, all you guys waiting for us? You guys are troopers. Let's up and go.
We'll kick off with a couple summons here, but in the meantime, we'll give it a few minutes for anybody else maybe jumping in. Anybody in the chat planning to attend ETH Denver? See, do we? Zilfred, I recognize Zilfred here. He almost won the.
Ooh,
He was
that's
like
right.
just barely missed the DBZ question on our Saturday stream.
By the way, the winner of that actually knew the answer without looking it up. What was the game? There was a DBZ game that. What was it called?
Yeah, I don't remember. But
Budokai
yeah,
or something.
yeah, he was playing that.
What a baller! That's all I gotta say.
Although I will say the guy who won the Brandon Sanderson one, I don't know if anybody
That
beats that. Like
man,
that guy sent
studied.
pages of handwritten notes with no prior knowledge about Brandon Sanderson, and he nailed that thing. So that was
Jeez,
crazy.
that was.
All right.
What a baller.
I'll kick this off here. So we wanted to do just a sum in. What we have is a Dark Knight. This is Babypunch's Dark Knight. And I had a Paladin. So these two have a chance to make a Dragoon. It's not a great chance because neither one of them has, well, that's just kind of how it works with the elite class roles. It's very, very hard to have like an R1 Dark Knight or an R1 Paladin. Very rare. So I think we're at like a 14% chance with this guy to hit a Dragoon. So let's see if we get lucky here. Cameron Fleming, we are giving this hero away.
Yeah, you wish. Think money grows on trees over here? I had to drain my bank account for this.
Oh, you know what? Am I on?
What network you on?
We might have been a little wonky here because we were messing around with some AVAX stuff.
Oh, there's no way you could be in DFK.
Yeah, it wouldn't even load. It's
Try it
showing it in AVAX. Oh, well, I'm just gonna roll with it. Maybe if I switch RPCs here. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Cameron Fleming. All right, I'm out. All right, man. See you, fam. Yeah.
So, guys, quick agenda. What we're planning on doing today, if we got time. So we're gonna do the summon. We're gonna go over some leveling. So I know we've touched on this before, but we want to kind of get a little bit deeper if we're leveling specifically for combat or specifically professions, because you're going to have some heroes that you want to level for combat and some that you're just like, this is bottom tier. He's going to be in the fishing pond for the rest of his life. So we're just going to go over kind of how we're leveling those, maybe give you some tips, kind of what we're doing. Obviously, make your own decision, but just kind of show you how we're doing it. And then leveling up a hero as far as choosing stats, rarity differences. If we have time, we'll touch on mining a little bit, just some pointers in there, and then the bridge to AVAX. So
sweet. Oh. So this is a priest, common priest. Let's
go. Man, that's a winner. You know, I'm gonna gift this one to you.
Honestly, should we give this one away? I'd be honestly okay if we want to give this away at the end of the stream.
Yeah. I think we probably should. All right. But Cameron is exempt just because he
whoever
had
this
his hand
camera
up.
guy is. Yeah. Oh, geez. All right. Well, there's that.
We'll decide. There's a good chance we might just throw that one to the wolves.
All right. I'm going to go back to your screen here.
Okay. So, we've got, pull it up here. So this is one of my 2 Gen Zeros. He's an archer thief. Profession is gardening, so it's not an aligned profession. And this guy, I'm just leveling for combat. So he's legendary, so he's going to get some additional stats. And so I've just been choosing them based on combat. Do we want to, let's see, go over, let me share my screen here and we can kind of touch base.
I've got it open too if you want. I'll pop it open.
Okay, yeah, show.
All right. You were on Archer?
Yeah, so Archer. Let's look at that.
All right. Here is the Archer chart. So anybody who doesn't know where this is in the docs under the hero, like the gameplay section where it talks about heroes and leveling. You can find this stat chart. We've talked about it, I feel like, a million times on our streams, but if for anybody who doesn't know about it, definitely something you got to understand if you're going to be buying hero NFTs and leveling them up. So if we look here, we've got this just essentially tells you when you level up, these are the chances you have to get +1. So it goes through every single stat. It says, so it'll look at strength. It says, okay, what is your percent chance to get +1 on strength for your primary class? 55% chance. Dexterity, 80%. So obviously archers after 100 levels should have a lot of dexterity, a decent amount of strength and endurance and almost no wisdom. So that's kind of how that works. So I'll pass it back over to you.
Yeah, so based on those stats, we know dexterity is a must because according to Hubert, so correct me if I'm wrong, but he said the stats that are highest chance of rolled are probably going to be the best stats for combat, but not necessarily, right? Because you've got to look at what each stat does. So archers, so for the profession, we know intelligence is really high in the profession, but that is not going to be ideal for combat. So we know dexterity is, and then what were the other ones that it recommended? So strength was on there and endurance.
I'm on mute. Well, the 3 highest are technically dex, strength, and endurance.
Okay.
And then vitality and agility are tied.
So
yeah, walk us through how you're selecting these.
So
3.
yeah, so I'm obviously gonna choose Dex because that I want that to be the guaranteed +1, and then the additional 50% roll. We're gonna choose either Strength and Endurance is probably your next best. We have kind of branched out a little and sometimes have done Agility just because. What's the advantage of Agility with archers?
So agility, I mean, we don't really know exactly what it does, but the docs, the brief explanation that it does have says that it essentially will impact like your action rate. So high agility would probably mean more attacks per period of time. You're attacking more often, you're just performing actions more often. Also, I believe it has a percent chance for evasion. So, real quick, one thing too, why, because a lot of people will probably feel differently. Why endurance over vitality? Because vitality is an interesting one in its compounding effect over time. Or are you deciding between vitality still?
Nope, I just decided to go with endurance. So it's got a little bit higher chance of roll, and so I'm going to go with that, hoping that is going to play out a little bit better for combat. But vitality is like a close 50-50 because the more vitality you can get early on, the more your HP bonuses are going to be subsequently per level. So it has a compounding effect.
Yeah, I will say with a lot of my guys, if you're trying to decide between the two, then like if you're gonna go endurance and just go Hambino on it, then just like throw it down and maybe if you want to max that out. But if you're deciding between the two and you're like, well, maybe I'll do some endurance now and vitality later, it's always better to choose vitality first in the earlier levels because it has a chance to impact your HP growths later. So something to keep in mind.
I am adding an attunement crystal here, and this should give me a flat plus 35 HP and a plus 10 mana, correct?
Yeah. GT Man says, shouldn't you focus on vitality and wisdom early leveling? So yeah, that's kind of what I was mentioning. I think that's what a lot of people do. That's what I'm doing with all of my tanks. And even like if you ever think you're going to level up vitality later, you might as well just do it at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you might change that up is that if you're like, I think combat, glass cannon, or I think combat's on its way out, and the impact of vitality over the next 5 levels, I have no idea when combat's coming out, but maybe you think 5 points to endurance instead of 5 points to vitality will give you an edge on combat when it comes out, and then maybe you'll hit your vitality in levels 10 to 15 and let that ride for 85 levels. I don't know, everyone's gonna have different strats, but yes, vitality and wisdom and actually intelligence as well has an impact on MP growth rate. Those will all have a compounding effect because they have a % chance to affect your HP and MP roll rates every single time you level.
So 63-ish? 63 for HP.
63, so you got 35 from the Atonement Crystal, 20 MP. Nice.
And for anyone who hasn't hit a level 5 hero, this Rarity column will show up when you hit that level 5, and we can run through those real quick. So Mythic, they get a plus 10. Legendaries get a plus 7. Rares get plus 4. Correct? And an uncommon, I believe, is it just 1 or 2?
Uncommon is 2 stats. So
2 stats. Okay.
If you guys haven't checked this out, I wrote an article. It's my comprehensive hero guide. I essentially break down every part of the hero card that we know about so far, and what the different elements and aspects are. One of the sections talks about the Rarity and how Rarity impacts your card. One of the biggest things about Rarity is that based off of the Rarity, like Babypunch said, you get plus a random set of or plus stats in addition to the normal leveling. So Babypunch just leveled a legendary. I'll go back to his screen real quick. So that should be 7 total stats. So if you see there, he got 3 plus 3 extra strength, dex, agility, endurance, luck. Those are awesome rolls for an archer.
Yeah.
He doesn't really, vitality would have been nice, but you don't want to, like, you're hoping that those don't get thrown onto like intelligence and wisdom. So that's awesome. I was going to show some examples of some more of some of my heroes, some of my friend groups. So like here's a level 4 to 5. So this 4th column is only going to show up every 5 levels. So again, a rare should have plus 4 total stats. So look at that. I got plus 1 to agility, plus 1 to endurance, and plus 2 to luck. Same thing here. This was awesome. I got the primary dex roll, the secondary dex roll, the bonus dex roll, and the rarity. So 4 there. This one was also really awesome. So Mythic, remember, plus 10. And the way that works is it's possible to have plus 4 on a single stat for a bonus, and then plus 3 on 2 others. That would be your 10 total. So that would be like if you were like hoping to get as many bunched into a few single stats, that is the best it could be, is plus 4, plus 3, plus 3. It could also be like plus 4, plus 3, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, like a bunch of different random ones. So going back, I got a plus 4. I got plus 4 on agility. He's going to be taking actions faster. Dexterity, which I believe the docs say weapon damage, and strength, which I believe the docs say physical damage. So that was pretty awesome. And then luck, critical chance. That was an awesome roll. Here's another one. Again, you got 3, 1, 1, 1. That's 7 total stats. A summoner here. So you see, it's not always like that one got spread across 5 different stats. Sorry. This one got spread across 4, and that was 7. So that is how the rarity bonus work, and that's also actually the exact same bonus that applies when you summon a hero. So at level 0, that bonus is baked in when you open up the card. You don't necessarily see it, but the way it works is like a common archer. All common archers will have the exact same base stats, but a legendary base archer is going to have 7 extra stats. I don't know why I said base archer, but a legendary archer is going to have 7 extra stats, and you'll see that's when you summon like a legendary or mythic, they'll just have higher stats at level 1. So that's why. So level 0, they get the bonus, and then every 5 after that.
Do you have a hero to level up that's going to be just profession based?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we can kind of go through that. So
I don't have one to level up, but I do have one that I have been leveling up, and I wanted to show what that looks like.
So some of you might have a hero that you just are not very good for combat. Really common, maybe some uncommons. And you just want to leave them as profession heroes. And so what we've been kind of doing is just leveling stats based on the profession. And then I personally have been leveling luck just to throw it in there. Hopefully I do we actually know if that will play into effect for jackpots?
Luck?
Yeah.
We don't know the exact details. We just know it has like an impact on everything, and that it definitely has an impact on quest rewards. I don't think it's much, but it's kind of like that little extra cheddar, I think. Coov King said, Samich, where do you get the time to do all your DK stuffs and still work? And then Aberdeen says +1 on the Samich question. So yeah, work is pretty busy. I will say I was way busier when I was at a law firm, and I recently, within the past couple years, went in-house to a company, and so I still do corporate law, same stuff, securities work, but being in-house working for a company rather than at a firm where I worked for a ton of different companies, the hours are a lot better. Still really busy, but I just try to find time during the day. My wife's super understanding that I'm like super passionate about this, so she lets me, spend a lot of time at night, and that's just kind of try to fit it in whenever.
Busy man right there. Real quick, Aroha asked, are we not leveling up common heroes? So I am leveling up my common heroes. I'm just leveling them, choosing their stats different based on profession as opposed to combat. So any high rare heroes I'm leveling up geared towards combat, and any low rarity heroes I'm gearing up towards profession.
Yeah, I'm leveling up literally everything.
Yeah, everything.
Like anything that comes off cooldown, I'm leveling it up. When Schwasserns took a dip not too long ago, I spent like 30 or 40 jewel and just loaded up on them. And then between that and the heroes that I've had like a self-sustaining pool for the most part. So this was one I wanted to show you that I've leveled up for professions. And I will say this, like I would not level up something for like you're like min-maxing specifically for professions unless you have a large hero pool, or you're just like, I know I'm not, like I know I've got like 3 solid guys that I'm going to use for my combat quest. And like I want to have a guy who, when we get the really high level profession quest, this guy's going to be like, it'd be like if you ever played like Final Fantasy 14 or some of these MMOs, it'd be like making a guy that's specifically for crafting. And I feel like that's generally not like most people's like goal in an RPG, but I mean there is a place for that. There's always a good place for that. So this is kind of like my archer forager. So archers are great because they always have high dex, and you might recall for foraging you need dexterity and intelligence. This guy has the purple intelligence buff, which means he got a plus 2% flat bonus to it. And then he also has an increased roll chance to hit intelligence on his primary and secondary rolls. So every time he's leveled up, see, I'm at level 3. He has really good professions. Like that's 16 plus 13. So 29 total stats that go towards the foraging profession, and then he has 10 luck. So I'm probably, like, if I were going combat, I would go dexterity, strength, and then either vitality or endurance or agility. If I want to go like straight glass cannon, no vitality, endurance, and you just maxing dexterity, strength, agility. So that's kind of how I'm looking at
So
that.
for the profession, obviously you're going to level dexterity, intelligence, and then are you putting that third 50% roll into luck? Is that what you've been doing?
Yeah. So if it's for this guy, I go guaranteed dex, because like if I had to put this, like say I wanted to sell him eventually or summon with him, dex it kills two birds with one stone, right? It wouldn't be a good idea to go intelligence with my guaranteed +1 because intelligence only benefits him for foraging. Dexterity will benefit him for foraging and combat. And when it comes to foraging, it doesn't matter if the stat is on intelligence or dexterity. It's an aggregate of the two, and it's linear.
Mm-hmm.
So I always go +1 on dex, and then I go the 50% roll rate on intelligence, and then on luck.
And just to recap, profession outcomes or questing outcomes are 2/3, according to Hubert, 2/3 based on your profession level. So he's got a profession level 9.7, and then 1/3 based on your cumulative stats, correct?
Yeah.
And
Food.
it's,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I say, and it only takes into consideration dex and intelligence. It doesn't account, your questing rewards don't account for any other stats except for those two, right?
That's right. Yeah. The level 0 quest, that could, I mean, all of it could be a little bit different as higher ones come out, but that's how it works right now. Food says, if you have commons, what level do you stop leveling if you're just using it for profession quests? I'm leveling it up like nonstop. If I had to choose, like if you're like down to a point where it's like I can only level up my combat guy or my profession quest guy, I'm leveling up the combat guy.
Yep.
But I think the profession, the high profession, like a really good profession quester, those are going to be more and more important. I suspect that like as the higher level profession quests come out, that's where we'll start to see the chance to get like moksha runes and the higher runes, and there's always going to be a place for someone that's like a full-time professioner.
And theory is the more you level them up, the higher the stats, the higher the profession level, the higher chance you have of hitting more runes. So
Yeah, and I want to highlight this comment too. Koof King says, if you want to level your newer ones, you get extra drill and crystal from the upcoming snapshot. So the one thing I will say about that is that snapshot I don't think is running. Oh, sorry. No, that is. There's a snapshot running. There was a snapshot where you got crystal and jewel for every level, but I think the current one, that one's done. I think that the current one. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find the DeFi Kingdoms, the official DeFi Kingdoms medium put out an article on airdrops, and I think that the current airdrop is for people who summon and then level those up. Every time you level up a new summon after hero number ID 100,000, you get a chance for a raffle for, I thought it was land, but I have so many things I'm like going through my head, I kind of forgot. So, but definitely check that out. I don't think that you're getting, because there used to be a thing where it was like every level after level 1, you got 1 jewel and 1 crystal. So if you hit level 5, that's 4 levels past 1, you'd get 4 jewel and 4 crystal, and those would by far pay for the most part, the runes that you would need.
yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
Should we? What one real fast thing? Just this is something I've been doing. I have been trying to level up. I have a couple. I have 2 mythic guys that are like, these are going to be my part of my core squad. So it's this archer that I showed you the roll on earlier, but then I also have this dark knight. He is he just barely hit level 4. So I've been trying to like pump him up as fast as possible, but because he's a gardener, I didn't want to run like fishing quests because it's not efficient. It costs 7 stamina every time. So it becomes really expensive to just use 50 stamina potions and boost this guy. So what I've been trying to instead do is just as often as I can efficiently level him. And so what that looks like is, so for example, I'll end his quest here. and my archer. What I've been doing is, even if I don't have LP in a specific pool, I just want 100%. This guy needs to be in a garden getting experience. So I just claimed their garden profession. We'll give it a second to complete. And then as soon as it's done, all right, got those. I am going to my inventory. Oh, don't want to add that. And I'm going to use stamina potion on each of them real quick. And where these are the only two that I'm using my stamina potions on, I pretty much can like keep uptime. Like I'm not using enough stamina pots that I can't keep up with it by selling my other rewards. So, okay. If anybody hasn't done these, it's pretty cool. So his stamina will refill here in just a second after that confirms on the blockchain. Yeah, PSQ, he's saying, just to kind of go back to that, 5 plots of land will be raffled. Anyone that holds a hero is summoned between that. And then I believe if it also says if you level up, if you level up those heroes, you get additional tickets. Yeah, that's this other one he said. Awesome. We'll come to this question here in a sec, Mike.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Having a little UI error here. So anyways, so I just got those guys back up. I got their stamina back up, and I'm just, so my two main pools are UST and BUSD. I have like 1 cent in each of BNB and Matic. So I'm just gonna send them out again. And in 250 minutes, I will complete the quest, get the experience, and run it again, and hope to get this guy to level 5 and just have him as high as level as possible for like when land combat tournaments come out. So I just wanted to kind of highlight why, for example, I'm not just sending him like fishing. That would be the fastest because I could complete a 3 fishing quests pretty quickly, but it would be a very inefficient use of my stamina, and it would be expensive.
So is the idea behind it is that you still plan on using him for questing for probably a good while?
Yeah, I mean,
combat comes out. Do you think he'll be?
No, he'll be awesome. When combat and adventure comes out. I don't think he'll be in the gardens anymore. Mike, so before we go to bridging, any idea how we compete for land quests, PV or PvP? I think it will be PvP. We talk about, they mentioned conquering, but to be honest, I don't really know.
That'll be sweet.
They said, I mean, if you look at the last AMA, they talk about it being based off of stats. So higher level heroes are going to have an advantage. But whether that's like a PvE or PvP, I'm not 100% sure. And I think everyone's just kind of speculating at this point. I would be shocked if there wasn't some sort of PvP element, but I guess we'll see. All right, let's go to bridging. So, why talk about bridging? I think one of the big things that I actually hadn't bridged until I tried it out last night. I've just been lazy. But one of the things with Crystal Veil is when their gardens open up and we do the Crystal Veil single staking of Jewel, which will be the first way so there will be airdrops. Then there will be single staking of Jewel to get Crystal, and then they'll open up token pairings for normal garden emissions, kind of like we have in Sarandel. But so there's in between the airdrops and the typical token pairings, you're going to have to single stake Jewel. And you're only going to have a couple options. You can buy the limited amount of Jewel that's over there in liquidity pools on like Pangolin decks, or I don't know if Trader Joe's has a liquidity pool for Jewel yet. Or where all the liquidity is, you'll have to head over here, buy it on Sarandel, and then bridge it back over. So let's talk about how to do that. So
we go to the, let's say you sent me a link to set this up in MetaMask.
Yeah, it's actually really easy. It's nice because there are several Avalanche wallets, but if you want to just use continue using your MetaMask, then you just add the RPC.
So let's see. Let's go to this here. All right. So here's setting up the RPC.
We'll add this. I'll put this in the description of the video.
We'll send the link. And so if anyone, do you want to pull this up and just kind of show them? I'm sure everyone has added an RPC before, but in case there's some people who haven't.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Or actually, why don't you pull this up and then I can do it live since I haven't added it. Then I'll add it live.
Yeah, you just want me to like read it off to you, or?
Yeah, just read it off to me. Maybe we can flip back and forth.
Okay.
We can kind of show. And if anyone hasn't done this and wants to just follow along, I mean, feel free to just add it along with us.
Sorry, I'm mixing up all my tabs here.
So if you want to send it over to me, I can just show them where to add.
So yeah, do you want to start getting? Do you have your screen ready to share?
Yep.
Okay, it looks like it's on your DFK screen. So
I just want to make sure. Can you guys see? Can you see the MetaMask here?
No. Did you expand view so that like expand detail so it like takes up the whole tab rather than just in your window?
Okay, sorry guys. We're gonna figure this out here.
So this is I'll share this link afterwards, but it's just like when you had to add the Harmony RPC, or if you've added Fuzz or Hermes, like any of those, Pocket, you're gonna put in a network name. You're gonna have a URL that you'll copy and paste in, the chain ID, symbol, and the Explorer address. Once you do that, it'll add the RPC, and then you can connect to it. But
okay.
Do you have it ready?
Yeah.
All right. It looks like it's still your. All right.
Okay. You should be able to see this now, right?
There we go.
Okay. So to add RPC, you come up here, you go down to settings, network, and then add a custom network. So it'll pull up this, and then you're just going to kind of tab through how to set up the Avalanche RPC. So it has all the specifications right here. So you can just copy and paste. So network name, we're going to paste that.
John H says, will it not add the network automatically if you go to Trader Joe and connect the wallet? You know what? I actually don't know. I set it up manually like this. I didn't try that. So that might be the case.
Should I try this? Should I try it?
Why don't you just walk through this?
Okay. So we're just copy and pasting.
Yeah, you can buy Jewel on Trader Joe by typing in the contract. Yep, that's right. So this, what I'm talking about though is when there's the big rush for Crystal Veil, there is not enough liquidity over there to support everyone that's probably going to want to buy on Avalanche, and then others that are coming in. I just don't think there's going to be enough liquidity. So either people here in Serendale are going to have to bridge over and either take advantage of that and sell their Jewel at a higher price over there because there's going to be so much demand, or people over there are going to need to come over to Serendale to buy it. All right, so you added Avalanche.
Do you want to send this link in the chat right now, just so anyone who wants to kind of follow along can do that?
Yeah, there we go. Send the link. We'll also put it in the description of the video after. So now we've got
right here Avalanche Network.
So why don't you go back to Harmony, switch it back to the Harmony RPC, and then why don't you go to the game, go to the docs, hit the doc master, and then hit multi-chain. So these are your different bridges. Harmony Bridge will let you bridge to Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. Terra Bridge will be for Luna. And then multi-chain will be for Matic, Phantom, and Avalanche. G-Fame 407. I thought 1 Jewel 1 Crystal reward for each level is till February 14th. You know what? You might be right. I've been getting kind of mixed up, so my bad if that's true. While Babypunch is doing this, I will double check and confirm.
So we're gonna come to multi-chain.
Okay, so connect your wallet. Actually, and you can go up and switch it to. I mean, that's fine if it's on Ethereum, but just go ahead and connect it. So it looks like you had a pending connection for Pangolin on that. That's why you're connecting to two different things here. So this is the multi-chain one. All right, so it automatically changed it up to Harmony up in the top right.
Yep.
So like let's send a couple of Jewel over. So select the token on the Harmony mainnet you want to send.
So right here, Jewel.
And you want to send it to Jewel and then select Avalanche. Yep, there you go. And just however many you want to send. It'll tell you how much the fee will be. So minimum amount says down in the bottom, you have to send at least 1.9. And minimum fee is 0.94. So you don't want to be sending like 1 Jewel.
Oof.
You will pay a 94% fee if you send 1 Jewel.
So that's an expensive. So don't do this multiple times.
Yeah,
do it
try
when
to
you're
get
ready.
this. Try to get this in one day. So it's
yeah. So we're gonna just send
8.
10 for now. So you'll have to approve it, and then you will have to do the swap.
Yeah, and then after you're done, go show them how like it shows up. Like if you go to Pangolin Index, your balance should show up there. I'm looking up that airdrop question while we're talking about this. Hero levelers, yes. Let's see, I'm gonna pull this up. I hope people who heard me earlier watched the end because I was 100% wrong. I thought the 1 Jewel, 1 crystal reward for each level is till February 14th. That is exactly right. So thank you for correcting me on that one.
Nice job.
Yeah, good job, man.
Okay, that approved. So let's go over to Pangolin. Connect my wallet. Switch to Avalanche.
Yeah, should already be connected. You just gotta switch. Also, it might not show up for a sec. When I bridged some Avalanche last night and it took like 5 minutes. So
okay, so
what
maybe
will happen?
Come back and just see yours.
Yeah, and so guys, remember too, like if anything you bridge, so that's Babypunch just pulled up his Avalanche RPC, like the Avalanche network on his MetaMask. Jewel is not going to show up in the MetaMask unless you add the contract. Oh, boom, there you go. Your balance is there. So like but if you look at your MetaMask right now, it's not going to show up on like the assets tab. You'd have to go just like you do on all the Harmony stuff. You need to add import token, add the Jewel contract. Doesn't mean it's not there. It's there. You can see it in the DEX right there, Pangolin DEX, balance of 9. So just remember, like, don't freak out if it's not showing up in your MetaMask. It's there. You just need to add the asset. And then, so yeah, he has 9 Jewel. He can sell it for anything he wants on the Avalanche network. And then if you want to go back.
Yeah, someone made a good comment. You might want to send some AVAX over so you can transact on this.
Yep.
So Jewel, you can't pay gas fees in Jewel. You've got to pay it in Avalanche or AVAX. So after you do this, you'll want to. So you can't actually swap Jewel yet. I would have to get some AVAX into my wallet to pay for gas fees.
Yep, that's right. So, some of you might be thinking like, well, why don't, like, if I have a bunch of money in AVAX, like, why not just send that over and buy Jewel? You can definitely do that. It's just when it gets crazy and Crystal Veil launches and the single staking for Jewel comes out, I don't know what it's going to look like. The liquidity might just be way too small for the demand over on the Avalanche dexes like Trader Joe's and Pangolin. And so it might not be an option to just like bridge a bunch of AVAX over from your Harmony Serendel funds, because they're just, you'd bridge it over and then what? Buy a super expensive jewel. So you might be thinking, okay, well, I'll buy the jewel and send it over and then sell it to these guys who want to buy higher, or I'll single stake it. But whatever you do, you're also going to have to send a little bit of AVAX or you won't have gas. So you'll have this jewel over here and then you'll be marooned without any Avalanche. So just make sure you also, honestly, set up your bridge right now and send over like one AVAX, or not even one AVAX, just whatever you think you're going to need for gas. Just get it over there and have it ready. Because when I don't know how it's going to work with the subnet and everything and what the gas is going to be, whether it's going to be an Avalanche or whatnot, but you're going to need Avalanche most likely to pay for gas fees in the game too. So you might as well just have some ready to go. Because asking for some Avalanche is probably going to be a little bit different. You're probably not going to have as many people as eager in the Discord to say, oh yeah, man, I'll just hook you up with some gas real quick. So
yeah,
make sure you're in the right position.
When you go to add tokens to your AVAX RPC, what I just tried to do was add the Serendel jewel contract, which didn't work. So you've got to make sure you go to Crystalvel contracts, and I believe there's just the one in there. So there's just the jewel contract. And so that's the contract you use to add jewel.
PSQ, I am under the impression that from the latest AMA that the single staking will be on Serendel at first. I have not ever understood it to be that way. So I could be wrong though. So thanks for highlighting that. I will take a look at that and maybe make an announcement on our next one, or maybe I'll tweet about it or something, but I did not think that was the case. I mean, the single staking right now on Serendel is what's getting you the snapshots for the airdrops, but I don't think that's what's going to get you crystal emissions. Those crystal emissions are going to happen on Avalanche, and I just think it would be weird for them to be getting like current emissions based off of your holdings in Serendel, but maybe that's the case. Sweet. Okay. I think that's it for tonight. 45 minutes, a little longer than we were originally planning, but I feel like we talked about some interesting stuff. Now you know how to bridge. Boris, yes,
super
they
easy,
definitely
guys.
said single staking first. Yeah, that's 100% right. I think his question was, is the single staking happening in Serendel or is it happening in Crystalvel?
Yeah. My understanding was Crystalvel, but
see if just make sure if there's any other last questions. What do you want to do with that priest?
Oof. Should we give it away?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Should we do it? Should we do a trivia? The good old trivia?
All right, let's do a trivia here. Let's think here. Before we give this away, we want everyone to go hit the subscribe button on the YouTube and Twitter so you guys can get notifications. We don't have a very set schedule. We're trying to keep the podcast to Saturday mornings, but both of us have full-time jobs. We both have families. Sometimes life gets a little chaotic. So streams are kind of hit and miss and bouncing around. It's best if you hit notifications, and if you follow us on Twitter, we usually try to put those out there so everyone can get a heads up of when we're streaming.
Yeah, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get a notification on your YouTube app. That'll be the easiest way. All right, come on, my map's not loading. All right, I'll just go back to yours. All right, so
Drake on Digital tuning in.
Drake on Digital. Drake on Digital is ready to get his butt kicked in some pickleball at ETH Denver next week. We
have a friendly competition set up.
He's ready to lose, and the loser pays for dinner. And I can easily spend $100 at Taco Bell.
Oof,
Drake,
man.
So...
Taco Bell menu is gonna get fierce.
Hey, those wings aren't cheap. Those wings aren't cheap. Okay, let's go. Let's just go. We love our anime. What about Dota? Dota 2?
Ooh, there we go. Okay, let's get into it here.
All right, so guys, remember to get ready to answer the question, you got to put your Discord name in right now. So it'll be like Mine is Samichpunch, #2518. So get that ready. If you don't have that in your name when you give the answer, we just can't give it to you. We've had a lot of issues in the past where people will report other people's questions and it deletes it eventually. So just if you want to qualify, you got to be the first one to answer it correctly, and you have to have your Discord username in the same message. So Dota 2 trivia for, actually, let's go back here. I'm gonna pull up the hero. Why don't you think of a question, or do you want?
No, yeah, I'm gonna come up with it.
Let's see. ID descending. All right, it's this bad boy. 124672. This was our sad attempt at a Dragoon with an uncommon Dark Knight and an uncommon Paladin. We got a Priest. So that was pretty awesome. Priests are decent foragers. Priests are decent foragers because they have high int rules. This one has a blue dex, which is nice. So I mean, honestly, if I were keeping this, I would be like, this guy is my full-time forager. He has luck buff, he already has high intelligence roll rate, and he's got a blue dex buff. So I'd just be like smashing the dex, int, and luck. I'd get the guaranteed +1 on int and the 50% on dex and luck every single time and send this guy foraging for the rest of his life. Okay, you got the question?
Hold on, I'm trying to think of the answer. I know what the question is. I've got to make sure I know the answer.
Also, if anybody ever wants to play some Dota 2,
oh yeah, hit us up.
I'm a solid Archon, so I would be glad to hop in your backpack and be carried. Drake on digital. He's just coming to scope out the competition for this weekend, next weekend. Oh, wow.
Okay, I know it. So I have a Dota 2 team that I've followed for most of my, I guess not most, but for many, many years. And this will be anyone who has followed it because they no longer have a Dota 2 team, but the Complexity Gaming team had a Dota 2 team. When they pulled over their team, they came from Han. What was that Han's name? So the Han Heroes of Newerth team name for the Complexity players that most of them jumped over and ported.
All right, so the current Dota 2 team name is Complexity. They came from Heroes of Newerth. They were competitive Heroes of Newerth players. What was the name of the Heroes of Newerth team?
Yes.
Okay, I like it.
That is way in depth.
You gotta You gotta know your stuff.
Yes.
All right, JHW3D says Kieta.
Stay Green is I believe that. Hold on. Let me just double check. I may have that wrong.
Oh, you got it wrong.
No. Stay Green. I believe Stay Green is the actual Dota 2 team name. Let me just see. I may have.
Wow, guys, this is embarrassing.
That one, but nope, that is right. It is Stay Green.
It's Stay Green.
It's
Stay Green was the Han name.
Yep, I was thinking of their bonus points. So we have our winner, Jonathan White.
Wait, is it
how?
I mean, Jonathan White, we specifically said
yes,
you gotta put your
Discord. Gotta have your Discord.
Bro.
We can't. We will get spammed with scammers. So yeah, I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry, man.
You've got to have your Discord up there, or else we will just get inundated with scammers.
So what is that, Bondosu?
Let's see. Yep. Bondosu.
Jonathan, man, I'm sorry.
sorry. Yeah, you had the right answer, but oh man.
I will go into. I could go into why we had to do this, but the first giveaway was just a barnyard explosion, and
Yeah.
this was the easiest way to make sure that people couldn't report or go and change their name immediately and then later reply with a different Discord. So sorry, man. You're a true fan. You're a true fan, but we just got to stick to our rules. So
Yeah.
Ondosu 0643 Baby Punch will be reaching out. Thanks for joining, everybody. Join us on Saturday for the official Intergrove podcast stream. We'll have Bloater Punch on, and that's usually where we talk about current events, hot topics, and sometimes controversial stuff. So hope you guys can join us. And I think weekly going forward, Baby Punch and I will be just doing kind of a play with us stream like this where we talk more about game mechanics. All right, thanks everybody.
Well done, Bondosu. I can't believe you hit that, man. That was
All
good.
right, you got Bondosu's
I got
details?
you. Yeah, I'll be messaging you in Discord. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Okay, see you
Be
guys.
sure to hit the notification, get our tweets.